Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest accidents in my life that changed my life forever and was super, super impactful. And the underlying theme here is how to turn coal into diamonds, or how to find the silver lining in the terrible things in your life, or the setbacks, shall we say. And maybe in this moment, wherever you are in life, if you feel like you're having a setback, maybe there's something that's going to be great out of it that you can find in it. Now, I will caveat this with, you could argue that life is random, the universe is random, everything is random, and so nothing happens for a reason. And if there's a big accident and you say, oh, well, it happened because of this or it happened because of that, it truly probably didn't, and then it's completely random, and that's that. And I would say, yeah, you can see it that way, and I've certainly lived my life seeing things that way. However, seeing things that way doesn't add value to my life anymore. It doesn't make me happier. It doesn't improve my perception of my world. It doesn't allow me to perceive my reality in a way that is a positive reinforcing mechanism where I can be building momentum off of it. You see, a part of this personal growth and improving your life and making your life better is also choosing how you perceive the world so that you can support your brain, you can support yourself in having a more optimal mental healthy state that allows you to do things in a better way and to live a happier, healthier life. So I want to talk a little bit about my accident and how it changed my life, and maybe there's something in here that you can learn from it. So I had an accident, and it was on a bike in Berkeley. This was about 5 years ago. And I was on my bike. We were at a bike party where there was 400 or 500 people on bikes. We were all riding down a hill. And I had this intuitive sense something bad was going to happen. And lo and behold, something bad did happen. And I did not think it was going to happen to me, and it did. And what happened is I was going down too fast. I had disc brakes on my bike, and I squeezed the brakes too hard to the point where the bike actually unexpectedly stopped, and I flew off. And I do remember this flying off experience as when I started to fly off the bike, I had the same feeling of, wow, this feels like flying in my dreams. It feels like that taking off experience. But then when I reached that apex of the takeoff moment, I said, uh-oh, this is the reality where I go down. And I don't remember the crashing down moment. But what I do remember is lying, next thing I remember is I'm on the concrete, my face is like this, and my arms and hands are like this, and my body hurts really bad. And so what ended up happening is I ended up scraping my knee and scraping my right arm, and right here kind of landing with the majority of force on my left arm, where I ended up breaking the bone here. I'm forgetting if it's called the ulnar or not, but the scaphoid, which is the muscle, the bone inside your thumb, which is a very important muscle, and then the radio. Here. So I basically broke my arm in 3 places, and that put me in a cast for 2 months. And in doing that, it made me have to rely on other people, rely on my community around me, and reevaluate my relationship with my partner, because I didn't have a lot of support around me. I didn't have a lot of people that I could count on. My partner was in San Francisco, and because of that, I realized that I needed to move back to where my community was, which was in San Francisco. I ended up breaking up with my partner because I realized we were no longer in alignment. We were no longer in a mutually supportive environment. And because of those two things, I ended up starting to take hormones and begin my transition for real. I also started a new job right at that time as well. So all of these things combining made for a hell of a change. And I honestly feel like that accident, which was self-inflicted, that accident was my intervention from my higher self, my spiritual realm, my spirit dimension. It was an intervention that allowed me to create a shock within my reality, to act as a portal, so to speak. Like you create a lot of force and energy, literally, in this timeline that creates a very dramatically different timeline, because if I don't break my arm, then my timeline may continue as business as usual. But because of the break, it changed my entire reality to not business as usual, into, well, reevaluate, reassess everything. And so I did. And that accelerated this transformation in my life to the point where I'm now kind of living with those same repercussions of that experience, those decisions that I made, the job that I took, the breakup, the transition, the hormones, like all the hormones led to me, completely transitioning. I didn't know it at the time. And in retrospect, I would say that was probably the most positive, painful experience that I've had, like physically painful. I think there's a lot of emotionally painful experiences that I've had, but physically painful, I think that was the most positive one, other than like getting facial feminization, but that only hurt for 2 days. Having a broken arm for 2 months is a whole nother ball game. So like, when you're thinking about your own life and your own experience, what are those experiences that you've had that have changed your life in ways that, may not be so good or maybe for the better? And like, what is it that you can do to kind of allow yourself to find the positive, even in the ones that feel like they may be negative? Because like creating that story and that narrative is that self-reinforcing habit with your brain that's going to help lift you up. And if I had changed the story to, well, because I broke my arm, I broke up with my partner, and my arm is the reason why I'm no longer with my partner, and my arm is the reason why I had to get a new job, or my arm is the reason why I got hormones. Like, I don't know if I can say it in a negative way, because getting hormones was a positive thing, but it definitely made me move to San Francisco. And if I dragged my feet moving to San Francisco, if I dragged my feeling of breaking up with my partner and looking at it as a loss, I think that it conditions you to start seeing the world differently, don't you think? If you have positive stories, even around the negative experiences, what do you think that's going to do with your perception of your reality in the future? And how do you think that's going to affect your decisions and choices now? If you're thinking about loss aversion and you're thinking about all the things that are going to be holding you back, or you have this feeling of things that are going to be holding you back or that you're going to lose, you're probably going to be more conservative with your choices. And those have a time and place. But I like to lean more on the ambitious choices, where there is some risk, but I think it's calculated. I think the misunderstanding that we have with making choices in life is that we forget how resilient we are. Do you remember like the last big thing that you had to deal with and how resilient you were? I mean, you made it. You're here today, and you're going to be here tomorrow. And you tomorrow may be a slight different version of you, but don't use your history to be a predictor of what you're capable of in the future, because that would just be not a misnomer, but it would be, I don't have the correct word at the tip of my tongue, but it would be an incorrect way to see things, I will say. You viewing the past as an answer to how you can do things in the future is not always the best, because I mean, like, how do you start when you're zero? Like, you had no past. But looking at things in the past where you've done positive things out of negative things, or you've made changes that you're proud of, that can be used as fuel to help you move forward into saying, you know what, I can do this better. Because you are building momentum. Your brain is building and stacking off of what you learn and what you experience. And so in a way, the more that you build off of this idea that you can cast within your mind a positive story from anything, then you can move forward in a way that's going to make your life better because you make better decisions. Now, I want to caveat like this little piece here where I'm not talking about self-deception, and I'm not talking about creating a positive spin about a story where you potentially did something that was negative. I think those things are kind of like egocentric. They touch the ego, and it's very easy to self-deceive, especially when you need to make sense of things where you feel like you have cognitive dissonance. For example, if there was a bad breakup, like, can you own up to the responsibility of the things that you did wrong rather than to create a positive narrative that protects your ego around the things that you did wrong and say, well, it's actually their fault. Because if you do that, then you're also deceiving yourself again. You're creating actually like a negative positive feedback loop because you are potentially going to make those poor decisions in the future in your future relationships. Which, I mean, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to sabotage your future relationships just so you can protect your ego now, which is just a construct and concept? Of course, it's super important to have. This is how we survive. We need an ego to survive. But your ego is not going to die if it's wrong or if it's looking at things incorrectly, and it has to acknowledge that. So there is some nuance here, and there's different ways of seeing it. And in a way, like creating this positive narrative around, say, breaking my arm, it is kind of bolstering my ego. But my ego is not a bad or good thing. It's just how I'm using it. So if I'm using my ego in a way to self-deceive myself, that's probably a bad way of using the ego. But if I'm using positive narratives around things that can make me a better person and give me like de facto better decision-making skills, then I think bolstering up my ego and saying, yeah, like I did break my arm, but I made the most out of it. And that's something that I can take with me into my future. Does that make sense? How does it make sense for you? How do you think you can examine the way that you're viewing your reality and asking yourself questions about these positive narratives that you have? Because maybe it's worth asking yourself a question about some of the positive narratives that you're self-deceiving yourself with. Are there things that you are telling yourself that allow yourself to deceive yourself, and you spin it in a positive way for yourself? And are there things that you spin towards yourself in a negative way that could actually be positive for you if you can work with that reality, that story, and turn it into something positive? Where is that for you? I'm Ashley Adamson. Thank you for joining me today. Please join me if you'd like to support me. I'll see you in another episode soon. Bye.